Hello everyone and welcome back to the video. Today we're back on the scenario editor, and this time I've got a very interesting unit to take a look at. It's going to be the Khmer Ballista Elephant. You might actually think that this is a very troll unit or whatnot, but it's actually not. And I told people before it got buffed back in April, late April, we got a patch that gave this unit an extra 2 damage. So now it's at 11 base damage plus 1, which is absolutely insane. And, well, I actually don't know how it's going to fare against some classic units, but I've got a lot of units, some which are counters, some are power units, and some are just like standard units you might encounter. And then I also have a very specific counter, which is the Mangadai. I'm just curious to see how strong Mangadai are versus them. And at the end of the video, we're going to draw our own conclusions, and then I'm also going to give you a couple extra counters for this unit that you might not have thought of. But yeah, the Ballista Elephant is absolutely insane. And we're going to start with our first test. So as always, we're going to be as the Khmer here, 24 Ballista Elephants, which I do realize is a lot. This unit is expensive, but we first have to understand why you need to mass this unit. The unit basically has amazing stats. Has a lot of HP, good damage now, pretty decent range, like 6 range is solid with Siege Engineers, but it has a lot of upgrades that it needs to be this powerful. Basically, you need the Blacksmith upgrades, you need Husbandry Bloodlines from the stable, you also need the unique tech that makes it shoot 2 bolts. You need Siege Engineer and you need Chemistry. So those are, I hope I'm not missing anything. Those are the upgrades for the Ballista Elephants that make it very strong. And the reason why you need to have it masked and have all these upgrades is because it acts like a scorpion. It does pass-through damage. And so you need to have a lot of them to be able to, whittle down units and take out armies. So we're going to try it first against some Paladin here. So let's go ahead and see how many Paladin I have. It's going to be 24 Paladin, so same number, and it's going to be Magyar Paladin, which are fully upgraded. I'm just going to standard test, patrol into the elephants, and see how it plays out. Those guys were kind of weird. Yeah, no micro involved, no nothing. And we're just going to see how strong the Ballista Elephants do against one of the most powerful units. Like, it doesn't get more powerful than the Paladin in late game, right? And 24 Ballista Elephant versus 24 Paladin, it's about the same kind of, cost-wise. Paladin is obviously a little bit cheaper. Maybe you can fit like 30, 35 Paladin for the same cost. But just to give an idea of the power level of this unit. And the problem with Paladin is that if the Khmer player even mixes in some halbs in the front line, it becomes even more deadly. But as you can see with just Ballista Elephants, it's doing okay so far. It's hard to judge the Paladin though. There's our Paladin behind that I can't see and all kinds of things, but looks like it's going to be a pretty even fight here. It's hard to say. Oh, it's crazy. The Paladin are winning. And look at that. In the first test, the Ballista Elephants are actually dying, so pretty interesting test here. Remember, the Paladin are actually the cheaper unit here, so for them to be winning, it's a pretty big deal. Obviously, you have to take into consideration a lot of factors. Halves can come in for the Khmer player to tank, but the first fight goes to the Paladin, and so we can conclude that Ballista Elephant is not a great answer to Paladin. Paladin will probably win most of the time, unless the Ballista Elephant are like near castles defensively, or they have Halberdier nearby, or some sort of meat shield. So pretty good first test here. Let's try the Ballista Elephant now against some Halberdier, which is a very classic counter, especially for a lot of archer civs. This is 40 Halberdier. I'm going to patrol the Halberdier into, with spread formation, by the way. Oh, you guys wait your turn. You guys, relax. Your turn is coming. With spread formation, so you're getting the best trade possible. And it's an absolute abomination here, as you can see. It's ridiculous, dude. 40 Halberdier killed 4 Ballista Elephants. And obviously, like, the Halberdier are running at the Ballista Elephants, but that's how it's going to be in regular game scenario as well. The Halberdier will run, they will patrol into the elephants, and you're just going to pick them off and completely destroy the halbs. So we're melting armies of 40 halbs like it's nothing because of the high damage of the Ballista Elephants. And we lost only 4, and like a couple are weak. So as you can see, Halberdier, which is the most common counter, is hardly a counter to this unit. And I would even argue that if you mix in some skirmishers for the Ballista Elephant to kind of soak up some damage and add a little bit more like mass to it, the Halberdier are going to stand absolutely zero chance. So Halberdier, guys, is actually not a great answer to Ballista Elephant. If you have to play with Halberdier, make sure you're spreading them out. Make sure you're funneling them in like 5 at a time and not like 40 at once, like in this scenario, or else you're going to get wiped, okay? So pretty interesting tell there for the Ballista Elephant. Not amazing versus Paladin, insane versus Halberdier. And let's see versus Arblast now. And I'm getting a very concerning result here, by the way, because we're going to try to isolate this a little bit. These guys can go out the sides. And then we're gonna go ahead and fight the Arbalest. But real quick, actually, we're gonna go ahead and spread formation and do some patrol here. It's 50 Arbalest, by the way, fully upgraded. Let's see what's gonna happen. I mean, I don't even think they're gonna kill a single elephant. They killed one. That's good. Oh yeah, this is crazy. I'm telling you, I freaking love doing the series because you just get to see absolute carnage unfold. And like, this is a pretty realistic scenario. Obviously, it's not like it's a pretty niche scenario. You don't see Ballista Elephant every game, but bro, the conclusion for this is like literally what do Archer Civs do against Ballista Elephants? That's my conclusion here. Halberdier barely work. Arbalest might as well not even have them. They got shredded. 50 Arbalest, by the way. I stacked in favor of Arbalest and they still did nothing. They killed one Ballista Elephant and hurt another 10. I didn't even bother trying Skirmisher because this is a siege unit. I don't even think it's... Is it even taking bonus damage from Skirmishers? Let me know in the comments below if Skirmishers even do bonus damage to this thing. As far as I know, no. It's a siege unit. But it could also count as a Cav Archer. I have no idea. Anyway, point being, Ballista Elephant insanely strong versus Archer Civs. I generally don't really have a good counter, except the one at the end of the video. Wait for it. That I would tell you guys. But Arbalest and Halb, not looking too hot. So the conclusion so far is that Ballista Elephant is insane versus Archer Civs, not amazing versus Cav Civs, unless you mix in Halberdier. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look now against some Mangudai. Mangudai do bonus damage for siege, so it makes sense to go with them. Also, Mangudai, I gave them 35 here, so it's a pretty good number. Like, it's pretty even cost. And I'm going to go ahead and do the situation where they're more spread out. And let's go ahead and unfold and see how this unfolds. No, stay in the fight. Come on, Holmes. Oh, the patrol is not amazing there, but it's not bad. These guys need to fight as well. Come on, guys. Fight. Continue fighting. Dude, even Mangudai are dying. This is ridiculous. Even Mangudai are not taking best trades. And you don't have a massive range advantage. You have 7 range for 6, so like you don't even have a bigger range advantage. Oh no, it ended. No, let me see like I want to see like the situation. It's gonna go back. Dude, just because of my OCD, I'm literally gonna test the scenario again and then talk because I don't want to stare in the scenario. Okay, OCD. So anyways, pretty insane test. We saw the Mangudai, there was like 15 Ballista Elephants left or something crazy like that. So even Mangudai aren't doing enough, which is ridiculous if you think about it. So what are my conclusions after seeing these tests? Well, first of all, versus Cav Civs like Heavy Paladin, Ballista Elephant aren't going to be insane. However, if you mix Ballista Elephant with Halberdier, you're still going to have an amazing composition for Khmer late game. Against Arbalest Halb or like Archer Civs, Ballista Elephant alone should be like perfectly fine. The only danger is like specific things like maybe Warwolf Trebs or like Siege Onagers that can be a good counter to Ballista Elephant. So keep an eye out for those if you're an Archer Civ. And then obviously Mangudai, it's not an amazing counter, but it's probably still a decent unit. You can maybe go for Siege Onagers as Mongols. Which brings me to my best 2 counters that I didn't really showcase in this video because it's hard to showcase those. It's basically going to be Siege. Siege Onager does really well against Ballista Elephants. It's a bit of a weird one, but Bomber Cannons and Trebuchets also do okay against Ballista Elephants because they do have high damage and long range, so you're able to snipe them and do a lot of good damage there. So big siege weapons are really strong versus Ballista Elephants and something that you should go for, especially as an Archer player, because you're not going to be able to take these guys out with your standard units. I don't imagine Hussar doing that well against Ballista Elephants, so maybe using the raids can be good, but using mobility for raids can be good versus Khmer, but Khmer will have amazing Hussar with good farms anyways, so it's not a great option. So Archer Civs will struggle a lot. This is how you counter Ballista Elephants, in my opinion. You have to go Monks, especially Monks with +3 range. That is by far the best counter to Ballista Elephant. Whether you're a Cav Civ or an Archer Civ, go Monks with +3 range. It's insane versus Ballista Elephants. And I would recommend mixing Monks with Halberdier. Why? Not because Halberdier are amazing versus Ballista Elephant. We saw that they weren't good. But just because Halberdier will be insane against Hussar, which are usually the counter to Monks. So then you're going to force the Khmer player to play like Hussar, Skirm, something like that. And then you'll play like Halberdier, Arbalest, Monk. And that's going to be a good composition for an Archer Civ. And if you're a Cav Civ, you can probably play something like, I don't know, Skirm, Paladin, and then mix in some Monks if you're having a little bit of trouble. If he's got like Halberdier. So you'll be fine with like Skirm, Paladin, Monk there as well. So make sure you're mixing Monks if you have a Civ with +3 range. And even if you don't have +3 range, Khmer don't have Bomber Cannons. So even Monks with 9 range should be good enough, especially if you get Sanctity. So that's pretty much my overview for the Ballista Elephant and a nice little practical test. It's really insane after the recent buff it got like a couple months ago. So definitely, if you're Khmer, don't just default into like Hussar and are blessed, you have the heavy scorpion as an option, and you have a very strong option in the ballista elephant. Make use of it. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know if you guys enjoy the series as always, and do recommend in the comments below what unit you want me to do an overview of next week. Thank you for watching. Take care and peace.